Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for February 18, 2022, the New York Attorney General edition. And we begin with that story from the New York Times, as a New York state judge has ruled that the Attorney General of New York can question Donald Trump and 2 of his adult children under oath as a part of her civil inquiry, or rather the state of New York's civil inquiry into the business practices of the Trump organization. The judge rejected two main arguments from President Trump's lawyers. The first was that the Attorney General is being unfair to Mr. Trump by bringing a claim because she doesn't like him. And number 2, that Mr. Trump, as former president, had really unlimited liability and could not have a claim brought by the New York Attorney General. And of course, both of those are not reasons not to depose someone or even bring a claim. So I'm sure Trump will appeal and they'll be tied up more and more, but a big loss for the Trump family, and perhaps we'll finally get some information under oath. Next up, Tesla tells a federal judge that the SEC is harassing Elon Musk and the company, that they are continually investigating him for alleged violations of his civil settlement, and that the judge should stop it. So, now we have Trump and Elon Musk saying that the regulators are not only being unfair, but they're picking on them. So it's going to be interesting to see what the federal court, where the settlement with Musk was approved, says to either Musk or the Securities and Exchange Commission going forward. Next up, more trouble for Activision, as SEC has subpoenaed more current and former Activision Blizzard executives, and the California agency seeks additional information on the CEO, Bobby Kotick's, and the board's handling of workplace misconduct allegations. They have both the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing and the SEC have widened their investigations into how Activision Blizzard handled workplace investigations, given what has come out so far, of massive settlements paid by Activision Blizzard, which were not reported to the board. So there's lots of liability coming. Microsoft is in for a pretty wild ride as the entity trying to acquire Activision. And finally, in the surprise department, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson reshuffled his cabinet recently, but he left the government without a ministerial lead for fighting corruption. So really no surprise there that Boris Johnson wouldn't want to have anybody trying to fight corruption. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.